Alex Anzalone shows his face. Was it the right call? I'm the doc, John Macaroon, here for the Tuesday recap. I was there. Alex Anzalone made the long stride from the practice field, and the media was right there to greet him. We had another interaction, except this time he got to give him credit. He won with a basic question that I think probably I didn't need to ask it, but you have to ask anyway. You have to ask Alex Anzalone the right questions. And here I am to share exactly what happened. I asked a direct question, and he asked me one right back. I think I wasn't prepared because probably the way in which I should have responded was, I mean, there's no way I could have responded other than just to tell him that, okay, you want a new contract. So there's a time and a place for everything. So I'm going to give my opinions on what Alex Anzalone did, and my opinion that both the Detroit Lions and Alex Anzalone have botched now royally this contract talk matter. They botched it. It's now noise. You saw the headline. I think everybody found the right word, right? Alex Anzalone is disappointed. That's the phrase that was used all over today. And it makes a banner. Alex Anzalone is disappointed. So here's what happened. It was a great, beautiful day. Beautiful day for Detroit Lions training camp. Thank you for those that are going to tune in. Leave your questions, comments. If you want something definitely answered, leave a super chat. We'll definitely get it. Highlight your post to the world within reason. And we're going to recap probably over the next 30, 45 minutes, over the next hour or so, depending on how long this goes. We're going to recap everything that happened today. It was feisty. It was aggressive. I guess the tone today is aggressive. And I felt like Alex Anzalone made the wrong move today. And I'll tell you why. Felt like overall the defense won the day. Yeah, you're going to see some great highlights. Like I told you yesterday, J-Mo's great hands. He flashed it today. It's now circulating all over the internet. You can see at Detroit Podcast. J-Mo, highlight play. Terry Arnold, highlight play. A Lions player got tossed from practice. The head coach said, no, you're out. And it was something I'd never seen in 5 years, I think, covering Dan Campbell now. He tossed a player. It was a great day. Absolutely, Hutch. Every day is a great day. You can record, broadcast, have a little bit of interesting things to talk about. Absolutely great day. And thanks, everybody, for being in here. Absolutely. That's right. I've been waiting all day, too, to talk to you guys. You guys have been great supporting the channel, hitting that notification bell, subscribing, telling people. I appreciate the growing community that we're going to have. The more you support, the more I can share information, man. It was great. And you're going to get it right from the source. I was there on the field, enjoying the beautiful day, nice shade. It was great. So let's get into it. Practice happens. So we're all ready to start talking about Keith Cooper and start looking for who the players are going to talk to the media. It was J-Mo and Marcus Davenport. So I was excited. And all of a sudden, there he is. Alex Anzalone walking along the side slowly with that hamstring injury, gracefully walking down. And all of a sudden, you realize the sharks of the media, they're going to go right by him. And you know who they are. Boom. Free press, radio station, they're right on him. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, here we go. And right away, we get right into it. Alex is disappointed. And naturally, it's an assumption that when you're on the last year of your deal, I've said this in many interviews, this is not new. Players on the last year of their deal that have produced very well expect some love. So this is not new. But he verbalized it in front of the camera, in front of the world. And he said, he was asked, are you going to practice if you don't get a new contract? He said, we'll see. He was non-committal. He said he didn't want to be a distraction by holding out, but I mean, he's not practicing. He was short and sweet with his words, and you can just read it on his face. He's not happy. He wants to be in a situation where his contract's taken care of. He wants security. He wants his family taken care of. You cannot blame him. You cannot be mad at him. It's the last year of his deal. He played a violent sport. Remember last year, walked off the field, fractured arm, and the defense went astray. The numbers got worse. He's a valuable asset, and he looks at the market. He's a professional athlete. That's what they do. They want their paper. You have an agent to take care of that. Now, here's the mistake that he made. Well, let me address the question I asked him. So naturally speaking, he wants a new deal, and he deferred all questions to Brad and Dan, who hilariously, he's like, go ask Brad and Dan. We could have asked them, but of course, my company, Sports Illustrated, tied up the guys. Albert Breer, wonderful NFL insider, was talking to Dan and Brad. So make sure you visit si.com because they're going to have some inside information. The great reporter Albert Breer flew in, and he gets to talk to Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Jared Goff. So we'll have videos and inside information on what they said today. So check out Great Sports Illustrated has a great relationship with the Lions and have a lot of exclusive access. So make sure you check out Sports Illustrated, the parent company. Got to show love. So I ask Alex, okay, he's talking. I'm like, Alex, I'm kind of noticing you're retweeting a lot of people that are praising you. Why are you doing that? And I just wish that, the question that I think would confuse the reporter the most is, what do you think? Because at that point in time, it's about you. You're standing there. What do you mean? I mean, yeah, I have my own forum to tell everybody what I think. I think you did it because you got a nice big ego and you want people to know how good you've been doing, so you get a contract. But I can't say that in front of everybody. I mean, what do you think, Doc? Well, I think you want a fat contract. So I just said, well, you just want to highlight to the team how good you've been doing? He's like, no. Well, okay. You handle business. So he asked a direct question, what do I think? I gave a fair answer, a professional answer is what I gave. I should have said, I should have said, if I was fast thinking and I didn't care, again, remember, I don't need to make myself the center of the story. I have a platform to talk. So I wanted it to be about him. So I reiterated, I'm like, why did you do it? Because you could have probably just said safely, I wanted to acknowledge the fans that were supporting me. That's all you had to say. Easy way to answer that. But I should have said, did you want more zeros or more years? Or I should have said, really, if I had time to think and it wasn't live being recorded by everybody, I would have said, do you think that really works by just telling everybody how great you are? We know the film. We know the stats. Everybody knows it. I don't think you had to do that at all. I wouldn't have did that because you're alerting everybody to, hey, you're not happy. That's the first thing we all look at is Alex isn't happy. We talked about it all offseason because every time someone would retweet something, there's Alex with a question mark and hey, and look at this. You're drawing attention to yourself. And again, Alex deserves it, but this is something that happens. Look, Aiden probably is in the same boat. You don't see him handling it that way. Quiet. Just smile and say, I hope it happens. That's all Aiden's been saying. He's not out here saying, I deserve to be the highest paid. I deserve to be this or that. So I just think today, from my perspective, Alex, first and foremost, deserves the contract. Deserves another year. Deserves probably a raise this year and a raise next year. I'd do it. But you didn't need to make this a spectacle. You didn't need to do the walk. You didn't need to talk. I mean, you could have just walked right by everybody. Thanks, guys. I got to go rehab. Got to go rehab the hamstring. Simple 3 words. Got to go rehab. A lot of players deny interviews all the time. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? I think Alex Anzalone is drawing attention to himself and drawing attention to the whole matter by talking. And it's well within his right. It's within his right to do that. But I just think it's a distraction. It created noise. That's not kind of the framework of the team that you would presume would make the coaching staff and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes happy. Like, hey, here's Alex front center with every headline. Alex is disappointed. We all know that. You don't have to speculate that. You've kind of started to share that on social media indirectly. You're on the last year of your deal. We're all smart people. We all know what's going on. That's a mistake. So I don't think that's the way in which he should have handled it. Well within his right. Well within his right to do it, and I respect him. He showed up. That's a good sign. At the same token, I don't begrudge players that want to make the decision to hold out. It's a violent physical sport. You deserve, again, remember, I say he deserves his paper, but you got to do it quietly. You got to just continue to have your agent call nonstop. He said it's not from the team. It's not from him. It's from the team. So that indicates potentially that the communication hasn't been great, or there's a standstill, or maybe this is the big debate, which is why I think the Lions are handling it wrong. Could the decision already be made? This is it. This is your last year. Play on it. You signed it. Play on it. Shout out to Steve. Credit to Steve, longtime supporter, friend of the podcast, true friend of the podcast. Eastside guy. We'll always shout out Steve. That's my guy. The Lions have made a mistake as well. They should have took care of this. You had Barnes. I think people are looking at it too. You had Barnes signed earlier. You prioritize Barnes. He's younger. He's a good player. You expect him to do some things on the edge at the Sam linebacker spot. He's young, going to be recovering from that injury last year, and he's a new leader. And also, the elephant in the room, which was kind of talked about, Jack Campbell's next. Dan Campbell said it today. Can't wait to go and listen from the internet. Sirius XM's there. Lots of content. And we're going to break it all down at Detroit Lions NSI. We'll recap everything that happened on Sirius XM. Everything that happens, you can go visit, I hope. And you can also let me know how I'm doing over the first 3 days. It's a lot of content. What the players are saying, what our analysis is, opinions, podcast, videos. They're all there. Detroit Lions NSI. You can see on the crawl there where you can go. I hope that the coverage makes you guys feel like you're in the know of what's going on. That's my only desire is I'm blessed to be able to go there, and I want to share exactly what's happening. So the Lions have made a mistake, in my opinion. You created now noise by not taking care of your guy. He earned it. Now, if Alex wants 3 years and $26 million, we don't know. That's the aspect I don't know. But I also say he's worth it. You've paid everybody else. He sees Amon-Ra get paid. He sees Panay get paid. I know they're the young core. This might be the tough decision that Brad Holmes plants his flag on. And it might be the tough part of the business. Where Brad says, no, man, play it out. I don't know how you do that in a Super Bowl window with 2 years, with two guys that, with a linebacker that I think is the leader of the team, the true defensive captain. But if the Lions are talking, and the Lions are starting to say it's Jack's defense, Alex might be out. Alex might have put himself in a tough spot. Tough spot. But I think, let me know what you guys think. Should the Lions have given Alex the contract? Should they have done this sooner? I don't know. My notifications are blown up and everything's like that. So one of those things where I think both sides botched this handling of the contract. It created noise. That's not what needs to happen. And there's been a lot of noise surrounding the Detroit Lions with injuries. And now this is not needs to be the focus. Should be the focus on a great offense. The way the defense played today, that should be the talk. But the talk's going to be that headline. Alex Anzalone is disappointed. Why did you come and do that? You weren't here the first 2 days. You could have just did the same thing. I think the noise is louder now than it was with people kind of wondering, okay, is it really a hamstring? Is it really a hold in? People say, well, maybe it's part of the deal. It's, it was at a 3-4 drama level. Alex made it a 10 today. Nuclear. But that's what he wanted to do. And he's within his right. This is the avenue that athletes have. It's not the avenue I would take. I always look at that. I always wonder. I wonder with you guys, if you were Alex, would you trumpet, I need to get paid? Would you do the social media thing? Would you unfollow? I feel like I'd want to do that, but I just would be in regular contact with the wife and the agent. And the agent would be like, John, shut your pie hole. Like, I know you want to get out there and podcast. I know you want to go out on your friend's podcast and be like, hey, look at what I did here last year. Look at the stats. Look at how great I am, and retweet everybody. I would do that. I definitely have the propensity to do that. I can share accomplishments and brag, and I understand the ego side of it. No doubt about it. That's why I would have professionals around me be like, give me your phone, hang out at home, stay in Florida. We will handle this all for you. Doc will take care of you. No, we don't need you starting the S-storm by all the stuff you're going to say online. So I would not handle it that way. That's not, I thought Alex would handle it a little bit differently, a little bit calmer. But now there's noise. Now, outside of that, this is great for podcasts. It's great for content. It's great for the website. But in terms of the team aspect, not good. Let me know. Am I wrong? Would you handle it this way? Would you have been out in front and just be direct and be like, I'm not happy? When we all kind of knew it already. If you're the Lions, you should take care of your guy. I mean, that's kind of the signal of how you're going to treat the old vets that took care of you. Alex outdid his contract. He's worth more than $6 million a year. No doubt about it. If you wanna, that's the tough part about the lack of knowing what the Lions are offering. Maybe they're offering him 10. He wants 13, 14. He wants market value, 20 million. Now, if he wants that, of course, only under the guise of him having an exorbitant request, which I don't think he would have, knowing that he's now, past his prime, got 1 or 2 great years left. I think both sides have handled this disastrously. It's noise. It's going to be the first thing that Dan's going to talk about Thursday. So, Alex, who do you think is going to ask it? It's not going to be me. But the first question is going to be, so, Dan, Alex said, do you guys, why is it awkward? Dan's going to have to answer it. And I wonder, I think the most direct question about Alex would be, do you expect Alex to be out there on the field when fully healthy if he doesn't have a new deal? So I'm curious what you guys truly think. Let me know. Do you think the Lions should take care of him? Do you think, no, this is your deal? You inked it. Run out there and do your job when you're healthy. He didn't say. He didn't commit. He was asked, are you going to be available for practice when healthy if you don't have a deal? He said, we'll see, because he's weighing it. He hasn't committed either way. So, chaotic situation, but something to monitor. Alex Anzalone disappointed. Not a great thing. I don't think you need to go down that way. It's tease. Someone already checking out what's going on. Lots of good stuff going on with what happened today at practice. And we'll move away from it, but I wanted to give my initial thoughts. Both sides wrong. Noise, extra stuff that don't need to be talked about. Hopefully, maybe even the next 24 hours, Alex gets the new deal, and by the time the pads hit, boom, it happens, and it's all done, washed away, and water under the bridge. What do you think, John? They want to ask me what I think right on the spot. Doc, what do you think? Why do you think I was reposting all that stuff on social media? I don't know. I can't assume. I don't know. You wanted to highlight you want to tell the team you want a new contract. But listen, I know sometimes it's better left unsaid, but you can't assume. He was doing it to acknowledge the fans, or he wants a contract, or whatever the reasons were. I don't know. My job is not to assume. What do you think? I think you want a fat check. I just couldn't say that. Oh, I wish I had the ability to fire that off. You want a fat new contract. You want to be paid like Fred Warner, don't you? You want to be paid like your friend Derek is what I really should have said. That would be funny. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, like I said, that's the one thing I won't do live from Allen Park. I won't make myself the spectacle. I'll ask direct questions, but the question that's the toughest, I think, to ask is, what do I think? It doesn't matter what I think. I'm asking the questions. And I don't think anybody cares. I think the small fan base that we've developed and the passionate, loyal fan base at Lions on SI does, but the worldwide audience does not care what the doc thinks about my own question. But you know what? He maybe has potentially set forth the pathway for myself, the doc, to maybe even answer that question one day if someone says, what do you think? And I'm just going to say, oh, you want to know truly what I think? I think you want a fat new contract. You want to be paid more than Fred Warner. You want to be paid more than Amon-Ra. Man, like I said. And plus, I want to tread lightly with the big, tall linebacker who could whoop my ass. I want to tread lightly. So I always keep it professional. I don't want to, like I said, I just want to ask the question that I'm thinking. But that's what happened. If I'm wrong, let me know. That's my opinion on it, is that both sides made this more than it needed to ever be. Alex should have stayed quiet. Let your agent do the work. Be in the building, learn, talk to Jack, talk to Derek. We don't need to see you out there in any capacity. And the Lions should have took care of this before it ever got to this point where Dan's now going to have to answer again, what's up with Alex? Why aren't you guys paying him? All right. Back on the field. First, of course, 15 minutes is the drama. Now, some reporters called it comical. Some reporters called the Alex situation weird. It's not weird. This is kind of expected. I just thought both sides would be above that. They just kind of went with how the standard plays are when there's a player that's not happy. They just have Trey Hendrickson just happened to be at Bengals practice. Now he's not there at training camp. He just happened to show up for a 20-minute media session. He just happened to talk to Pat McAfee about how he's feeling. They just happened to be there. They know what they're doing. They're getting their opinion out to the masses via the media. That's fine. But I do think the standard play is not to negotiate through the media or talk about your feelings with the media about your contract. Everything else, handle business. All right. Today's practice, the defense, again, the last 2 days, I said it yesterday, the defense came to thump. They came to hunt, led by Brian Branch. They came to let people know. You see the great highlight. Terrion got in the business of Amon-Ra St. Brown, had a great grab there. It was a defensive day. Now, there was some one-on-one periods where you see JMO win against Brian Branch, but in third down and short situations, the defense, today's day was about like the yardage is about 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 6. So they were working on, hey, getting offensive plays where you need just a couple yards. So the defense was right there, tight in the box, getting after it and blitzing nonstop. Calvin Shepard's like, all right, let's go, boys. You're going to run. You got a day off tomorrow. You're going to run after that offensive line. You're going to get after it. And boy, Brian Branch popped the tight end. Dan Campbell at one point, it was getting to that point. It was steadily elevating, getting chippy. Dan Campbell stops practice and gives the warning. Hey, got to handle it. Let's keep this where it needs to be. And so Maurice Norris, I think a young player that wants to be in the mix and realizing he's got an opportunity, just a little too aggressive. Bang! Little bit too intense, too aggressive for practice after Dan gave the warning, and boom, he gets ejected. It's one of those deals where if you don't follow the rules, you don't honor what is expected of you. I don't think it's going to have a lasting impact negatively on him. You want that. And Kirby Joseph had a long conversation with him, and one of those deals where Kirby said, you never want to have to tell a player to ramp up. You want to always be able to tell them to ramp down because you're just so intense and you want to showcase what you're about. Norris wants to show what's going on. Norris got ejected, booted, and he was emotional about it. He was, of course, not happy because it's your livelihood, but it's a good thing. It's a good sign. The defense was like, hey, we're going to chirp. We're going to tell you what's up, and we're going to let you know that no free yards. Get after it, punch the ball out, be physical, be intense. Aggressive, which you want to see. You want to see that. It's football. Both sides. But unfortunately, the thing that was a little bit disappointing in team periods, the offense didn't respond all that great. They were a little bit, prima donna-ish in my mind. They were a little kind of like when you hear footsteps, which let me take that back. Not prima donna-ish. Offensive skill players can definitely hear the pitter patter of some aggressiveness that's about to happen. And it definitely impacted the Lions offense. They were out of sync, out of rhythm for a large portion of the team periods. Out of sync, out of rhythm. It was like, but it's early. Again, no pads. And they were definitely hearing the pitter patter of the defense. I believe, yes, it was, a lot of drops uncharacteristically, some false starts, some procedural type stuff. Goff had to kind of get everybody in line and get after it. So that's what happened. That's the theme of the day. Now, the good thing was there's some competition, which was great, one-on-ones. Now, the tough part is that the way it was for me to try and cover it was I was right there on the field, and you had to my left, you had the team periods, first, second, third. Hooker, again, looked good. Sharp, got a nice pass off, but he was with the third team. So he's steadily building and stacking days. But then you had the defensive ends battling against the offensive linemen. So I have the team period to my left, and that's good. You get to see plays, but it's a second and third string. You don't really want to hyper focus on that after the first string. So I'm looking at, my goodness, some reps happened that were pretty spectacular. I will say this. Dan Skipper definitely got his hands full with Ahmed Hassanin. Hassanin bull rushed on the one-on-one rep, and he sent Dan Skipper flying back 5 yards, and he felt it. He felt the work of Ahmed right away. It was a great bull rush. Oh, my goodness. And it was great to see. And at the same time that's going on, you have the offense having, I'm like, okay, where's Goff? Because why is number 8 leading the first team? And then you see Goff doing the one-on-ones where the wide receiver is battling the defensive back. You see J-Mo get the win. See some good reps there from both sides of on offense and defense, some underneath stuff and some opportunities there, some competition. Check out the observations at Lions on SI, si.com/NFL/Lions. So you see some competitive periods that are, it's fun to see. So definitely I wrote that Hassanin definitely won a rep. That was nice to see. Very nice to see Dan Skipper having his hands full. So you look at it and you go, my goodness, lots of good opportunities to see some growth and some play. So who else impressed? Nate Lynn. Nate Lynn definitely impressed. There were times where I think the last couple of days he would have recorded a sack. He would have been there and handled business. So he's showcasing his skill set and doing his thing. And then a player that Dan Campbell talked about was Keith Cooper. He flashed, he showed speed, and just boom. Because a lot of times in those one-on-one reps, you guys will see out there, they just basically engage and wrestle a little bit. Both the lineman and the defensive end kind of ends up being even. Certain reps, definitely you pay attention to. And Keith Cooper just flew, spin move, boom, right there, blew past his assignment. And he's showcasing speed, showcasing what he's about, and he handled business. It was fun to see, fun to document. Definitely fun to see those one-on-ones. And they're fun to watch when they're not in pads. So when they are in pads, I'm getting word that Ahmed Hassanin, when the pads come on, people are just telling me, do not take your eyes off 61. He's going to be aggressive and he's going to love it. He lives for that. I'm like, oh my goodness, he lives for that. That means he's going to be aggressive. And he got into it with Mason Miller. He was chippy too. He definitely, listen, when you're there and you read, okay, when you read Hassanin has bull rush power and then you see it live, I mean, it quickly engaged, boom, bull rush. It was tough. Mason Miller is a good offensive lineman, developing and a chance to be on the practice squad. He made quick work of 63. And 63 was not really happy about it, and they held on jerseys and a little bit of talk from Ahmed. He's not shy to talk on the field, aggressive, and I hear that's what he's all about. On the field, off the field, mild manner, very nice smile, very professional. On the field, straight up dog. And that's what you're seeing, straight up dog from Ahmed, and he's showcasing his moves, doing his thing, and winning some reps. It's good. It's good to see. Definitely good to see the opportunities that you're seeing from guys that need opportunities. Mitchell Agude also had a nice run in the one-on-ones. Manu, struggled a little bit, got taken to lunch a little bit, but that's what you want to do. That's where you can hone your skills, get better, understand your fundamental techniques. And there'll be times where he'll win some more reps and be more consistent, especially which it's still early on. And I truly believe those drills a little bit favor the defensive ends because the offensive linemen have to anchor and they have to maintain their stance, where these guys are going full speed ahead with swim move, rip move, 360 spins, trying to get to their spot. So that was a fun situation to see. It was fun to see some competitiveness. Goff dropped a couple dimes in there. Hooker and Allen did not do any of the one-on-ones. It was just Goff tossing to the ones, and it was nice to see. Nice to see, Khalif Raymond battle a little bit. Nice to see Amik Robertson battle, and it's good competition. This is where we say iron sharpens iron. So it was aggressive. It was an aggressive practice, and I did think that, when you have a player like Norris and you have a guy like that is trying his absolute best to get after it, I hope it's not punitive. I hope we don't see a transaction where Norris is no longer on the team, because I think that, competitiveness is something that is warranted. You like the spirit, you like what they're about. And you can check out at Detroit Podcast. I had videos of the defensive backs today. That was our vantage point. So you got to see Brian Branch. You got to see DJ Reed, who returned, Terrion Arnold, and they had good days. And it's great to see Amon-Ra versus Terrion. Amon-Ra. It was great to see in the nickel spot and then J-Mo in the slot. It was great to see Amik Robertson try to shade and get JMO to a different spot. So some competition, but an ejection happened today at practice. So the vibe was today again that the defense won, and that's what went down. And it was a situation which I like that. That's kind of days I like. You know, Killer from Cairo. That's not bad. And I do think Dan Campbell did highlight Keith Cooper, highlighted it quite a bit. And in some of these days, you know, this is an interesting topic. The O line might be our Achilles heel. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And I look at it and I say, one of my takeaways was Tate Ratledge is a strong dude. He put down DJ Reader. So it's great because at certain times you want to look at holistically, and sometimes you can look right at a rep. And I'm like, all right, this rep, and it's tough too because you got other media. We're all trying to take notes, so we all talk to each other. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, sorry, I didn't see the whole play. I was just looking at this one guy. I wanted to see this one thing. And right when I'm looking at it, boom, Tate snaps the ball, engages with DJ Reader, and I think it's a run play. And Tate drives DJ Reader basically into the ground. And the size and athletic disparity was pretty clear. Tate can handle his own physically. It's not going to be in any question about Tate getting out muscled. It's going to be about the confusion that defensive line shifts are going to have, making sure you get the communication down on all the kills and all the movement and shifts that communicate as a center, and getting the play in and on time, getting the calls and getting the snap count and making sure everything, the fundamental, the nuts and bolts. But the strength and physicality, if he wanted to, DJ Reader would have been implanted into the ground. That's how ferocious Tate Ratledge was on that one rep. I'm like, make sure, wait. DJ Reader, make sure you get him up. Make sure DJ get up. Okay, it was good. And I think they showed mutual respect. Like, Jesus. DJ Reader's like, I'm still got to do this. I got to battle this. I wish I had a chance to talk to him. Tate Ratledge, I think he's going to talk later this week. He's kind of taking it easy on the media stuff. I'm like, okay, because basically when he walks off the field, 30 people want to talk to him, probably about the contract. Did he want to take a guarantee? All that kind of fun stuff. So, absolutely, Brent. We all expect DJ Reader to be improved. He was good last year. Now he's fully healthy, and I think the beneficiary of that will be Tyleek Williams. Very impressive. And so my impressions today were that, all right, let's go. Let's get after it. And then what people are seeing is that there's more opportunities to see Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery on the field together. When those opportunities take place, it's going to be interesting to look at and observe if the offense actually continues with that moving forward. In regards to others that are playing well, I look at it and I say, all right, Jameson Williams definitely, again, is a player that is making his case known. He's definitely competitive, doing his thing. Even in a day when the offense wasn't well, made some splash plays, but also some plays that were left on the field, which is always good. You want some plays to be left on the field so that you can come back on Thursday and get after it. I feel like a quiet leader that just goes about his business every day. Amik Robertson, always around doing his thing. So you get a chance to see him and how he grinds and how he does his work. Professional. He just knows where he's got to be at all times. One thing, though, that was noticeable is Tesla is wearing a compression sleeve, and it is not impacting him to the point where he can't run his routes, but it's something that's there that is potentially on his mind. Maybe just a little bit ginger to be able to not further aggravate it or get after it. You could just see him like working through after the rep because of all the intense cuts and everything like that. Was walking gingerly. Everyone kind of noticed a limp. We all wrote down here 18 limp, a little bit discomfort, but he didn't miss too much. So something to monitor. Does it proceed into Thursday, Friday? A day off probably is going to suit a lot of people. Probably suit a lot of people that are just dealing with the normal wear and tear of practice, intensity, workouts, all those things. That you see in camp is those early, little things that just bother people. So that's what I saw. I saw a lot of good things out there. Let me check in here with your questions and comments. Mm-hmm. Brent knows what's up. You guys are paying attention. Hmm. What did you guys think of Dan Campbell's comments, too? Now, the other takeaway that goes on is that there's a lot of media, and so the Dan Campbell publicly said that Jack Campbell is the leader of the defense. I don't know if he's ready yet to take over as the leader. Something I've seen with the linebackers, Grant Stewart's a dog. Grant Stewart hustles. He is somebody that doesn't give up on any rep in one-on-one special teams, linebacker plays. So I'm fascinated to see if Grant Stewart gets more opportunities as a linebacker. He's battling for that. A player to watch, Grant Stewart. He's a grinder. He's a guy that I think will the fans of Detroit will quickly take to. A grinder, somebody that hustles, doesn't stop until after the whistle, and somebody that is, I do think, somebody that will warrant opportunities based on his play, based on his passion for special teams and his no nonsense approach, his willingness. You just notice him. 15. You're always writing his name down. 15. A lot. And so I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but soon we'll get some introductions and learn more about his story and what he's trying to accomplish and things like that. Today, in terms of who we talked to, definitely Alex got a lot of attention. We talked to Keith Cooper, so some information will come down because Dan Campbell praised him. I asked Keith Cooper, like, okay, what'd you do in the sometimes football can be so easy. I asked Keith Cooper today, I said, Keith, you had the tryout and you impressed the team. And what'd you do to kind of catch the attention of the coaching staff? He's like, pretty simple. They wanted a pass rusher. I showcased pass rush. I was like, yeah, that's an easy note to take. He was like, I wanted to showcase I could be a good pass rusher. I did that in my tryout, and they liked it. And that was short and sweet. And he's very personable. Thanked all the media for asking him, so that was great. It was great to see a young player too, because that could be the guy that maybe is keeping Nate Lynn's, the Keith Coopers of the world. Maybe that's youth is what's keeping Zadarius Smith off of this roster. That could be the case. Today, Steve, I did not see her today. She was noticeable, I believe, yesterday is when I took the notes down. She could have been, but I was definitely not noticing. It was all about the chippiness, and it was today was not about the sidelines. Today was about what was going on in the field. So let me see what else was on my notes here. Give me 1 second as I peruse what was going on. Yep, like I said, Grant Stewart. Yep, Terry Arnold. Got to give him his flowers. You definitely have to give Terry and Arnold a couple minutes of time here. Terrion is gaining steady confidence practice after practice, and he wants to be somebody that is diligent and makes plays and is hungry. And something that he said that's really good. Pay attention to the media sessions because you do get a glimpse of their personalities. And Terrion said, I think about winning the Super Bowl nonstop. That's all I think about. That's the mindset. And when you say it, that means coming from the subconscious to the conscious, that he's truly he means it. If he just lets it out publicly, all I think about is winning the Super Bowl. I'm not worried about what my expectations are. I just want to help this team get to where it needs to go. You like that mindset. And today he highlighted it against Amon-Ra. He let Amon-Ra know too. He knew what's up. That's what I like about the defense. Defense is a little bit more. I think the defense too is coming out a little bit more talkative. Like I think in regards to the trash talking, JMO lights the fire. Amon-Ra is quietly goes about his business, makes the plays, always underneath in the middle, finds the avenues. But the trash talk has been kind of on the side of the defense, the noise, the passion, a little bit more from. I think what's going to happen is if I just foreshadow, the offense is going to look at the film today and go, man, we were loafing or we weren't with it. We weren't with it today. And you're going to come out Thursday and you're going to see Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Laporta. Brock Wright had the catch of the day. Nice catch over the middle in traffic, zoomed in there, and he was, in the individual, J-Mo had the nice play, but in this, in terms of the catch of the day, it was Brock Wright. Tight ends have been doing pretty well. Shane Zylstra, Brock Wright, Kenny Yeboah, all doing their thing. and catching the attention of Dan Campbell as well. So, if not, okay, there's any lasting questions about what happened today at training camp? You're going to read a lot about Keith Cooper, Marcus Davenport, JMO talk today. And again, I think the topic is going to be, do you pay Alex Anzalone? That's going to be the takeaway. And I equally believe there'll be equal support across the board. The problem with paying Anzo what he wants is we are already going to be short on paying the young studs. Would you rather keep Anzo in his 30s or Laporta in his 20s? Brent, you're on it, man. You're logical. I can flow with talking to you. You're very logical. I would, like I said, I would also understand the team side, but you got to, it's also a message. Sometimes, Brent, when you look at that question and that philosophy, sometimes it sends the message, hey, we reward our guys. And sometimes you take a bad one. You know what I mean? You just go, hey, we wanted to pay Alex 9. He wants 11. Let's just give it to him. And I'm not just saying that because he towers over me and always giving me that side eye look. I respect him greatly. Look, in some funny way, we both kind of have the same kind of mentality. He's just bigger and stronger, faster, and I'm just shyer and more comfortable in the comfy confines of my own studio. What do you think, Doc? Why do you think I post on social media? I don't know. You really want to brag? I don't want to tell you that to your face. No, Ned, they're not cheap. It's not cheap at all. There's a salary cap. You have to manage it. It's also value. It also, too, we don't know. Alex could say, look, the top linebackers are making 20. You're offering me 11. Can we just get to 13? Guys, this is millions of dollars. And that's the higher you go, it's important. You all know it, too. If your colleague gets a $40,000 raise and then yours comes up and it comes to be 10,000, you're not going to be really happy. So you want the players happy. And I think rewarding a player that produced, I don't think, and again, if it comes down to that third year, maybe they want, then okay, there's some value to understand that kind of discussion. It's nuanced. It's not one in which I would be upset unless it comes out that he wants $20 million and wants to set the market. That's just not going to happen. But that's the topic of the day is Alex Anzalone. He definitely is going to draw all the headlines, but there's so much to talk about. The offense, the defense, the coaching, the aggressiveness, what's going to happen to set the programming. We're going to cover it all with what JMO said, with what Marcus Davenport said, with everything that was done on SiriusXM. So tomorrow we will have a kind of early look at risers and fallers and kind of a recap of everything that's been said, our early takeaways from training camp. We'll organize that tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned. I appreciate everybody that's come on here. Hopefully, again, if there's anything else more you want me to cover on Thursday, let me know. Drop it in the comments. John, look at this. Look at that. One other note, Tashard Choice definitely loves to coach. You don't definitely question his passion. It's out there. Every play, every rep, got to be where it needs to be. You don't question that guy. That guy's good. That guy's going to be an asset. I think you're going to see some great things from the running backs. You're just constantly writing stuff down about Tashard Choice and his passion. Let me know anything at all. Like I said, I look globally, and then now again, it's early training camp for me. Young eyes, got to wake up at 6 a.m., get down there by 7:15 before all the seats are taken. And one thing I'll share too. I've sat in the same seat to share with you guys a little bit of insight and a story. Now that it's several months past, maybe I'll take blame, maybe I won't. I'm not that egocentric, but it happened. I've shared it on an interview maybe one time. I've sat in the same spot for 5 years, for the most part. When I first started, I sat in the back the first year, 2019. Quiet, never asked a question. I just wanted to learn. And I was like, oh my God. At first with Matt Patricia, it was like, I don't want to ask questions. This is crazy. That guy just talks and talks and talks and doesn't say anything. This is stupid. Like, why do people come here? Like, this is pointless. Why the heck did I want to come do this? Because I fought so hard to be there. 2020, it gets dramatic because the team sucks and we all know he's going to get fired. So that was fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The drama was fun. Listening, learning how the flow goes. All right. When Dan gets hired, I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable. I know how this goes. Media is super professional. They got a lot of X's and O's questions, a lot of fundamental why questions. I got it. I got the flow. And I started asking some more questions. But I always said, okay, I want to be right in the front. Look the guy man to man, right front and center, front right. I've had the same seat, front right seat. And you can see it in Hard Knocks. You can see it. That's my seat. I've laid claim to it. Not officially. If someone sits there, I never really say anything. Until last year, before Washington. At one time, if you guys noticed, Dan, I was late. And Dan said, hey, wait a minute. You're not in your spot. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm late. It happened. Before the Washington game, a national reporter took my seat. I said to my wife, this is not good. This is not good. That guy took my seat. Didn't say nothing. Older gentleman, what are you going to do? Kick him out? I said to myself, damn, I'm superstitious like Dan is. I don't want this to be, I'm like, this isn't good. Didn't change any of my gambling habits, didn't change anything. But I said, I don't know. I've been sitting 15-2 record all year, and I sit in the same spot. Should I have said something? Let me know. Should I have told the older reporter, hey, that's my spot? I mean, I'm never going to do that. But did I cause the Lions to lose? Did the football gods cause? No, it was the injuries in the offensive line. But that's what it is. That's what I saw. I looked at the offense, defense, and in the end, right now, the defense is just a little bit ahead of the offense. But you would expect that as they try new things and work in new pieces and figure stuff out. You'll see, I think, team periods when it's competitive, red zone drives. Oh, that's going to be good. One-on-one, Aiden versus Panay. All the good things are going to happen. So I thank you guys for your time. Thank you for letting me talk for 45 minutes. If anything at all comes up, again, comment, hit the notification bell. We will address it one by one. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. That's been my recap for today, and we'll check in again. Tomorrow's an off day, so maybe we'll do an overall recap, but it'll be shorter. But I appreciate those that check in and want to know what's going on with the Detroit Lions. At Detroit Podcast and si.com/NFL/Lions. Thanks, everybody. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon.